Alrighty guys, we're back for Bunny Nuke, and this is the Lost Caverns of Ixalan Standard Brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. We got all four Regal Bunnycorns in here. This is a 2-mana Rabbit Unicorn, and his power and toughness are each equal to the number of non-land permanents you control. Nice, so this can get a chunky pretty darn fast, and then the goal here is to get this nice and chunky, and then throw it at the opponent's face with Voldaren Thrillseeker's ability. It's a 3-mana 1/1 with backup 2. So when it ETBs, you put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. And if that's another creature, it also gains the abilities printed below this one until end of turn, which is, for 1 mana, sacrifice this creature. It deals damage equal to its power to any target. Nice, dude. That's particularly deadly if you also get a free swing with that creature too. So if you like buff that creature and are able to swing in with it, hit the opponent's face, then sacrifice it too, all in the same turn, like that would be absolutely devastating, man. We got a whole bunch of things packed in to kind of help that little combo. Bunch of ways to go wide and kind of sort of a +1/+1 counter strategy in here as well. Guys, all that reminds me, this was a suggestion down in the comments too, so thank you so much for the suggestion. It's gonna be a fun one. It was to try out Bunnycorn with that Thrillseeker. Now, the original suggestion, I believe, was actually for a Devilish Valet build as well, but I just wanted to try something a little bit different, which is a little bit silly coming from me because of how much I love Devilish Valet. But yeah, not this time around, huh? Honorable mention for a reason, though. So a bunch of ways to go wide. We got Anim Pakal in here, generating a bunch of gnomes. That'll help. Got Skrelv's Hive in here, generating a bunch of Phyrexian mites. Nice. Also has that corrupted ability where the lifelink could come in handy. Not too many ways to give toxic outside of those mites, but we do have Skrelv in here as well. So you never know. The corrupted might be a little bit easier than you think. Skrelv acting as protection for our Bunnycorn and other key creatures is going to be important too. Got more protection packed in here with Ollenbock Escort. 1-mana 1/1 with Vigilance, you sacrifice it. Target creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it gains a lifelink and indestructible until end of turn. I'll tell you what, dude, against aggro decks, that lifelink on a Bunnycorn or something could really go a long way. Like, keeping you alive for 2 extra turns could be huge. We have Homestead Courage packed in as a 1-of. Now, it's not like a non-land permanent, so I didn't want too many of these, but I do think every now and then we're just going to want to slam a counter onto something. Also, giving it Vigilant sounds good, and the Flashback sounds good too. Everything about Homestead Courage is just decent, dude, and it's a common, so you got to like that at least. So we have, like I said, that +1/+1 counter theme. We got Dusk Legion Duelist. 2-mana 2/2 with Vigilance, and whenever one or more +1/+1 counters on put onto Duelist, you draw a card. Unfortunately, it triggers only once each turn, but that's fine, man. This is going to keep your hand nice and stocked if you continuously put counters onto it every turn. It could be as simple, like we got sick lines of play, man. We got like Ollenbock Escort on 1, Dusk Legion Duelist on 2, and then like Thrillseeker on the Duelist. It doesn't sound bad because now you all of a sudden you have a 4/4 Vigilance and you're drawing, and then you have that Ollenbock Escort to protect that Duelist for next turn if the opponent's trying to remove it. And they can't remove it with something like a -2 on Wandering Emperor because that Vigilance like happens to be decent. So yeah, really sick lines of play like that. So Invasion of Gobakhan made the cut this time too. So 2-mana Battle Siege with 3 defense counters. When it ETBs, look at the opponent's hand, grab their Sunfall, make it cost 2 more. Now, not just Sunfall, of course, but yeah, you may exile a non-land card from it. For as long as that card remains exiled, the owner may play it, and then it costs 2 more to cast for them to play it. So yeah, generally speaking, you're going to want to hit their board wipes, and that's kind of why Invasion of Gobakhan's in here. But the backside, the flip side, also works in here too. Light Shield Array. At the beginning of your end step, you put a +1/+1 counter on each creature that attacked this turn, which happens to be decent if you're going wide, but then also acting as more protection, sacrifice Light Shield Array. Creatures you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Nice, dude. Holy cow. More things to work with that +1/+1 counter theme. We got 3 fight riggings in here. 3-mana enchantment with Hideaway 5, and then at the beginning of combat on your turn, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Then, if you control a creature with power 7 or greater, you may play the exile card without paying its mana cost. Now, we're not trying to cheat like these huge things out with fight rigging. Really just in here to fit the rest of the theme, right? Like, it's not terrible to plug extra counters on something every turn, especially when Bunnycorn can easily get to that 7. And even though we're not trying to cheat anything fancy onto the board, we still have some great things here on the top end that we wouldn't mind hitting with fight rigging, even if it's something simple like our one of Squee also helping us go wide, right? Just like it comes back from the grave way more often than you would think. Just, yeah, Squee, I think as the one of, going to be excellent in here. Check out this top end though. We got Archangel Elspeth generating some soldiers, so more ways to buff the unicorn, right? So our bunnycorn, I should say. It's not just a unicorn. That's important, man. Darn it. So the lifelink on the soldier is pretty good because we're slamming counters on all of our creatures too, but then also the -2 also helps us slam some counters. And guess what, man? You go -2 onto a bunnycorn and it becomes an angel in addition to its other types, and it gains flying. That's it. It doesn't say until end of turn. It has flying now. So like -2 on a Regal Bunnycorn, all of a sudden, if it wasn't already the coolest creature type of all time, now it truly is, because it is a friggin' angel rabbit unicorn, which is so cool, man. It really is. And like flying in the air, obviously, helps a lot as evasion goes a long way. So we have a couple Sovereign Okinec Awas. Something like that. It's a 4-mana, 3/4 legendary creature. It has Ward 2. Nice, dude. A lot of spot removal all the time. That Ward 2 is going to come in handy for sure. Now, when this attacks, for each creature you control with power greater than that creature's base power, you put a number of +1/+1 counters on that creature equal to its difference. Interesting ability, man. So I don't know how much it's going to do because it actually has to get that swing in. But since the Ward 2 is kind of protecting it, and we got a bunch of other protection in here between Skrelv and Ollenbock and all that other stuff. Of course, Ollenbock, you need a counter on that thing. So actually, I'm wondering if I want 3 Skrelv and 3 Ollenbocks. We'll try the deck as it is first. This isn't the only cat in the build. We also have Jetmir and Nexus of Revels. With all the ways to go wide and all the other stuff buffing our table, I think Jetmir is going to be an excellent one of. Okay, the mana base I thought about for way too long. Hopefully I landed on something, dude. And the noteworthy things, of course, we have Who Endures, Seed of the Empire, and Crucible of Defiance here as well. We do have a Restless Bivouac. We have 2 of those, actually. We have a single Restless Prairie. And then the dual land, like I said, I thought about this mana base for way too long. Hopefully I landed on something. The key things to note as well outside of this, Mirrex too, don't forget that, is as you can see, we need early white sources. So we got those early white sources, easy peasy. Jetmir's Garden, you know, it's totally fine to skip your turn 1 to get a garden down, because as soon as you get mana fixed, then all of a sudden the deck gets a lot better. Like as soon as you get the mana on the table that you need, that's pretty much for any deck, but you guys know what I mean. Okay, and then opting for late red and late green, which is kind of how the deck is. Yeah, that's kind of how it's separated. Honorable mentions, guys. Let's go over this real quick. So Commander faces Sokenzan, almost made the cut, not this time round. Resolute Reinforcements could help us go wide quite effectively. Nope, not this time. Ozolith the Shattered Spire. Yeah, dude, maybe as a one of, I could totally see it in here. You know, honorable mention for a reason. Going wide with things like Adeline could be cool, but the double white might hold us up in a 3-color build every now and then. Same concept with Kayla's Command, could have been a really cool addition here. Angel Fire Ignition, it really depends on what you're going up against. If you're up against a lot of like mono red and you're just dying before you get to your turn 4, then maybe an Angel Fire Ignition on a Bunnycorn could pull you back into that game. This could be like a really cool one of as well. Siege Veteran almost made the cut, not this time round. It feels a little strange not having like a rabble rousing in here, but it's the same concept that I said when I went over fight rigging. Like there's not too much that we want to cheat out late game. And maybe like we try a mid-range version of this where we have Rebel Rousing and we have things like Moonshaker Cavalry as well. That could be pretty sick, actually. But yeah, it's kind of sort of like it's doing its dandiest to be aggressive and not mid-range, although it's definitely going to fall into the mid-range category more than it would like. Okay, guys, enough rambling, huh? Let's go ahead, take it into some ranked and see how we do. Okay, we'll see if we can get right into that first game here. In the meantime, what am I expecting from the build? Oh, buddy, it's going to be janky. But hey, I wouldn't be playing it if I don't think it's going to be fun too. But honestly, maybe I'll be surprised. Like, we have some really good cards in here, man. And really good lines of play, really good synergies. Like, you never know. Ooh, okay. So slow land. We don't have a turn 1. We don't have a guaranteed turn 2 unless we see an untapped land off the top. And then if we don't see land for a few turns after that, then we're just like in trouble. Going first here is pretty... Okay, you know what? I'm going to try it just because at the very least we have the colors we need in hand. And there's a chance that we just draw an untapped source anyways. Sleight of hand from the opponent, huh? Okay. Rockfall Vale, another slow land. At least it's a land, though. Like, at least we'll get our turn 3. Okay, Rockfall Vale number 3 for some reason. I'm going to try the Duelist over the Anim Pakal. Yeah, we're lagging a turn behind, but I'd rather... Oh, Duelist lands. That's good. Impulse. Okay, I was going to say I'd rather our second Duelist get countered rather than our first Anim Pakal. If it's just straight up mono blue, going wide against mono blue is really great, man. So yeah, they struggle with go wide strategies. But if you can actually establish something down. Third mana. Are they gonna risk the Jin play? The Hottie Jin. They're not. They're gonna keep some counters open. A fourth mana comes down for some reason, and because we, like I said, we're lagging a turn behind as far as mana goes. Like Thrillseeker's fine, probably eats the counter because they don't want us to have the card draw, and Pakal's fine too. I guess since we have 2 Thrillseekers, we'll do it this way, right? See what happens to the first one here. Oh, nice. It looks like we might get some card draw here, unless they go Fading Hope. Stop the ability. We still... It's going to be a dispersal for 3 mana, guys. Wow. Yeah, they didn't want the draw, so... Outside of dispersal, I bet they still have all 4 Fading Hopes, right? Like, I bet they have a couple dispersals and then all 4 Fading Hopes still. So that's gonna be a problem. There's the Hottie Jin, so they do have the 1 island for protection for the Jin open now. Without a double white source on the board, we can't get both Dusk Legions down. There we go. 5 mana. We could attempt the draw off the Legion, get the Thrillseeker down, or we could just like Anim Pakal start to buff that way. The block onto the Thrillseeker. 1 gets through, Anim Pakal at least has some counters, and then we go Thrillseeker onto the Anim Pakal. There's a lot to think about here, actually. All 3 of these are valid. Like, Thrillseeker onto Duelist now might get us a card draw. And the Thrillseeker trades there, not like, or it doesn't trade, it just straight up dies. Legion could get us. I know, opponent, I know. Let's attempt Anim Pakal, see if it lands. Let's get the swing, get the ball rolling with these counters, and then like every turn we're getting more and more counters, and then maybe next turn. Yeah, the goal here is to just set up really well for the Anim Pakal. Then the goal next turn, Thrillseeker onto the Pakal. Bunch of extra counters, get the swing, go even wider, right? So tough decisions for sure, but yeah, and we're just gonna go for it with the Thrillseeker swing. So what I should have done, guys, is there's a chance that they would have just let the Thrillseeker through had I not played the Dusk Legion Duelist first. So there is a chance for cheese, and I blew that chance by getting a little hasty with my play instead of thinking through exactly what I wanted to do there. But hopefully it doesn't come down to that Thrillseeker. Wow, Chromho Seed Shark. Sleight of hand, nice. Probably just gonna play another island and still have protection open then, right? I would assume. And then Hottie Jin will trade into... Oh, they're swinging. They're going for it. That's 2 to transform. They only have the island. It's probably something good though, right? Yeah, probably. Ollenbock Escort, dude, we're starting with that, first of all. That's great. That's good stuff. Lifelink indestructible. Now, it's not hexproof, though, so I guess it's not as great as I'm thinking because, yeah, like, just bouncing something back to hand. Yeah, it's not hexproof. That's okay. Voldaren Thrillseeker. Let's do this, buddy. Okay. Okay, Anim. Let's see if they bounce it. Oh, no. Oh, no. If we went... Oh, March. Okay, well. Okay, that's not as bad as I was thinking. Unfortunately, yeah, the backups on both of our Thrillseekers just kind of did nothing, though. And now that it's phased out, too, we won't get an extra... Yeah, no point in swinging. Okay. We're in trouble, guys. Great tempo plays from the opponent's mono blue list here, and the Chromehose Sea Shark is, woo, super scary, man. Like I said, mono blue struggles against go wide strategies, but Chromehose Sea Shark happens to be terrific for this, for this specific thing, right? Because they can generate some chump blockers as soon as they need. A bunch of chump blockers. Luckily, all these cost 2 to power up, but still. They're completely stocked up now. Go for the swing in the air for sure, because why not? And we're definitely gonna be struggling here. Next turn we lose unless we find something terrific, and I don't know what it could be, because this island could still just be more tempo anyways. We can't swing with the Sovereign, because it, like, the Sovereign has to attack, unlike the Anim, which doesn't have to attack. I suppose it's just the Restless Prairie. At least we set up with a good board state here. Yeah. I mean, we're dead in the air next turn anyways, so we might as well power up the Restless Prairie, get a sweet swing in. They still have 2 blockers. Good game, opponent. Absolutely terrific tempo plays from them this this game. And they still have something. They do. Slip out the back. Dude, this was rough business, man. We're gonna get that full swing anyways. Yeah, that full buff on the Restless Prairie actually would have been great. It still wouldn't have gotten us there since they had a block to our biggest thing. So they could have, yeah, like blocked there. Then they could have blocked the Legion, Duelist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we would have gotten 10 damage through. Oh, plus the Restless Prairie as well. 14 damage through. Pretty cool. Nice. We could have gotten lifelink on the Anim Pakal, but like, look at their nice stocked board state. Good game. Game, opponent. If any of our Thrillseeker counters would have landed. Yeah, actually, if they didn't have that. Wait, hold on. Let me see. Let me double check here. If the game lets me. If they didn't have the March to phase out that Anim Pakal on our second Thrillseeker play, that would have been 2 extra counters and 2 extra gnomes for that first turn. And then, of course, another 2 extra gnomes for this full swing turn too, right? I mean, at that point, like, you have to expect mono blue to have something to stop you somewhere, right? Like, even we didn't even see any fading hopes from them, for example. We only saw the dispersal. But still, if one Thrillseeker would have landed on that Anim Pakal, then maybe. Because those extra counters too, guys, like we had the Ollenbock Escort when it came time, maybe we could have sacrificed it, got a little lifelink and survived an extra turn as well. And like 1 extra turn might have been enough to slip through. Yeah. I don't know. I think there was a chance. A small little sliver of hope somewhere packed into that game. They definitely would have had to get a little unlucky and seen a little bit less of the tempo. I mean, even the slip out the back was unnecessary, as they had the blocks that they needed to survive that turn anyways and still swing in the next turn. So Really depends. Ooh, we got our bunny nuke combo in hand. Let's do this, dude. Prioritize our turn 2. Definitely get that Jetmir's Garden down. Okay, beachfront, huh? Okay. Razorverge Thicket, not a bad draw at all. So do we go Bunnycorn? It's a 1/1. Look at my all-powerful Bunnycorn. That's funny, dude. So we have 3 for next turn, so... Ooh. Nah, well... Yeah, what we'll do is I'll get the Battlefield Forge down. Hope that that's not a tempo play. Let's see what's in their hand. Okay, it's not a Spell Pierce. That's good. It is going to be some soldiers, though. What do I want to cost 2 more? The Sky Strike Officer, right? I don't want that on this board. Yeah, I think that's fine. Anyways, Bunnycorn, we're going to flip that invasion immediately. Good stuff. Light Shield Array buffs the Bunnycorn at the end here. Gives it some protection, too. Yeah, we don't want to see mana for, like, the rest of the game. Or for, like, the next 4 turns, at least. We just want to see some value things off the top here, I'd say. It was good. That was an excellent 3 turns. Like, that was pretty ideal. Because we got mana fixed for turn 1, that's fine. Turn 2, we established a creature that's going to hopefully be growing this entire game. And then immediately on turn 3, flipped that invasion and stopped their turn 3 play. So, like, getting that Sky Strike Officer, that's pretty good, man. So, Thrillseeker, do they chump here? Probably. They're at 21. More land. Okay, well, I guess that is what it is. We go... We keep the 1 back for now. Have Vigilance. Okay, I mean, we go Thrillseeker just for the sake of more damage too, right? Do I want to sacrifice the Bunnycorn? Probably not. Probably not. So let's just... Yeah. Yeah, we'll just get as much damage as possible through instead of sacrificing the Bunnycorn. Because we saw their hand. We know they don't have Brutal Cathar, so they'd have to draw into it. Which is totally fine, because if they do, then we give Hexproof to the Bunnycorn as well. Like, this is growing beyond what soldiers want to see. I don't know if it was worth the Vigilance for the turn. Maybe we should have just got the Restless Bivouac down instead. But it was an extra damage there, so... Okay. Get a 1/1, and all that's buffed from the Valiant Veteran, too. So, unfortunately, that's only 8 for them if they full block. More land, bro. Okay, then. Well, Restless Bivouac would have been key to get down last turn, then, for some swings here. Yeah, so they got chump blockers for days. Seeing all this extra land is definitely a little unlucky. Like, we're flooding a bit. And then, yeah, if they just keep chumping for the next few turns while they try to find their removal, like a Cathar, thank goodness this actually gives that hexproof then. Bunnycorn's still growing. Anything off the top that's not a land, dude. Literally anything would be fine. Even a 1-drop, right? Even a Skrelv, that would be decent, actually. With Skrelv, like if we call white though, see they still have an artifact creature, and plus, yeah, now they have a blue creature too, so Skrelv still won't completely help us get the damage through that we need to. I'll bounce that back, get the ETB again, get more chump blockers. I like that opponent. That's pretty sick, actually. Invasion of Gobakhan. Well, it's not a land. That's good news. That's good, man. Let's see what we hit out of the opponent's hand here. Woo! Rescue Retriever. Enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on each other soldier. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to other attacking soldiers you control. They have the mana for it, man. We should just take that out of the game, right? Like, wait till they get the 7th mana over the scrapwork. Yeah, probably, right? I think so. So where did the blocks go here? Where did the blocks go? I'm powering this up. Because if they trade there... Dude, are we just going for it? Because if they... We're just going for it. And we're going to buff to... Buff the Bivouac to see if they accept that trade, but don't forget we can give everything indestructible depending on what happens here. 11 to face. It's worth keeping the Bivouac alive since they're taking so much damage, guys. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's definitely worth keeping that around. That's really good. Even though we flooded a bit, like, it's playing out quite nicely. And luckily, soldiers, this particular lineup that they had was a little bit slower than the soldiers that we usually go up against. Still pretty cool, though. Like, they're getting the chump blockers reestablished again. Ollenbock Escort. Dude, nice. Holy cow. So, we could have also buffed Thrillseeker last turn as well. And then we could have buffed it again this turn and then just used its ability. So that could have been really good, actually. All right, let's see what they end up doing here. Full swing at their face, put that pressure on, buff the Thrillseeker. They gotta chump the Bunnycorn regardless, so the 2/2 chumps that quite successfully. They go for the trade into the Bivouac. Are they gonna take the 2 from the Thrillseeker? I was gonna say that might not work out. Do we accept that trade? Let's go Ollenbock, save the Bivouac, and accept the trade from the Thrillseeker. How do we feel about that? Because we could sacrifice Thrillseeker, do 2 damage to the opponent's face, or accept the trade and get that other blocker off the board, and then just power up Bivouac again next turn too, so... Oh, dang, dude, they can unearth that too. That's good, man. I like that. I love the opponent's soldier list, dude, with the Sentinel bouncing the ETBs back and everything. Oh, did they just take this Bunnycorn out of the equation? Dude. Bunnycorn's out of this equation. They get a Scry too as well. Let's see if keeping the Restless Bivouac around was worthwhile. Yeah, we definitely just fizzled out and just like getting a land all those turns in a row. Yeah, they still got the blocker. Ooh. That's pretty good. That's pretty good because we'll get the draw. Although we actually... We forced the block here. I guess the draw isn't worthwhile. We just make sure the Restless Bivouac doesn't die to the block. Yeah. Yeah, that's much better than going for the draw, and then they trade there, and then what? We just draw another land or something? Like, that could be really bad. Swinging at the Invasion means they could keep the Siege Veteran around, too. Like, they could have let us just have the Invasion of Gobakhan. Lay down arms. Guys, is the opponent in this? Because they bring back the Scrapwork and get that extra chump blocker, or they could just play the Skystrike Officer. This is rough, man. We are really struggling to push that last bit through. They opt for the Cohort and get a chump blocker down that way. The Restless lands have been doing way too much for me recently, guys, like for real. They have chump blockers for the next 2 turns, guys. Maybe I just play the Sovereign instead of swinging this turn and just try to establish something that way. See, we don't have enough to power up the Bivouac. Because it in and of itself would tap down too, so just establishing more creatures, like, yeah, they're gonna have chump blockers for this turn and next turn. So I guess, yeah, just getting more things down. Complete fizzle out as far as like card draw and everything goes. So maybe drawing on the Dusk Legion Duelist was the correct play. But then the trade would have happened into the Restless Bivouac, which means we wouldn't have this anymore. That sounds really bad, right? So, yeah, I don't know. Nice, we got to keep the Sovereign around. Mirrex is great, dude. Nice, okay. Now we're talking. Now we can get the ball rolling a little bit better here. Okay, full swing at the opponent's face. We go buff you. There it is. All right. And then we still have Mirrex open for the turn. Chump, chump. They're slowly but surely running out of everything. Look at that 17-17 Bunnycorn. Hey, Thrillseeker off the top. Throw the Bunnycorn. We might get the Bunny nuke. You never know. Although I'm sure the opponent would concede before then. Also, surprised the Skystrike Officer and stuff hasn't come down. Because they have 7 mana. The Rescue Retriever has Flash, but yeah, 7 mana for a 3/3 with Flash. Pretty brutal, man. And since they can't, they're having trouble establishing any soldiers onto the board. What's that now? Oh? I think we got there, guys. Oh, Anim. Dude, nice. Opponent's letting me play this out, too. That's pretty fun. The opponent. The fun swing. We can buff you. I guess we'll swing at the Invasion of Gobakhan for no reason. Very cool, very cool. Thank you for letting me have that swing, opponent. That was a struggle, though. That took a second. Also, showing how important it is to actually be able to establish your hand again with things like the Dusk Legion Duelist and stuff. So, just showing the overall importance of the Restless lands, too. Like, against that mono blue list. Like, that Restless Prairie was actually really good. Just, they had enough to deal with it regardless. But still, you guys know what I mean. Cool stuff so far. Didn't get a chance to actually throw a bunny. Well, actually, that's a lie. We did have the chance, but it probably would have been really bad to do that, right? Because we didn't win with that throw. So just keeping the creature on the board was much, much better. Uh-oh, guys. This one's taking a second. We'll go ahead and pause the recording until I find the next match. There we go. Okay. We're in. Land looks decent. Curve looks decent. Yes. I like it. Start with the plains. Cool card sleeves, opponent. I don't think I've seen these ones before. What card is that? That's really cool. I like that. Okay, Invasion of Gobakhan next turn. Do we just like swing with Skrelv? Oh, Skrelv's Hive. Oh, okay. You know what? I will swing with Skrelv then. Start the toxic ball rolling. Maybe we can get that corrupted sooner than later. This is going to be a game where we go nice and wide, and then maybe the Invasion of Gobakhan, like if we can get that to flip. Like all those extra counters. Oh, Jund. Okay. Alright. Anim, are you going to get picked up by a cut down? Doesn't look like it. No, I'm going for it, dude. We don't need protection. We're just going for the swing. Opponent already has 2 poison counters, so... Okay, no double red, so it's not like a Brotherhood's End or something. Great blocker for the opponent. Okay. So a full swing. We could call green on Skrelv for the Anim and full swing anyways, right? That wouldn't be a bad choice, I would say. If we're swinging, we might as well go Anim at the Invasion too. Let's see what's in the opponent's hand. See what's going on in here. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. This is cool. Okay, Trumpet and Connoisseur though, right? Probably. They still have that discard ability though. Maybe it's Preacher. Alright. Not 100% certain what I wanted to hit there, but we do have a second. Actually just going to use that Mirrex for Ollenbock before combat too, and then go Skrelv, call green on the Anim. Autopay. Green. And here we go. Swing to face. The Corrupted gets through. And we get to swing at the opponent's face. With both of those, we still have protection open with the Ollenbock Escort then. Go for the block. Oh yeah, the Toxic doesn't get through. They still have a great block on our Toxic creature. Very nice. But check this out. Check out this buff, dude. Haha, this is gonna be sweet. Oh, it doesn't count for the other gnomes though. Yeah, because of wording. Yeah. On each creature that attacked this turn, since they already come in tapped and attacking, it doesn't count as, but still, that's still pretty cool, right? Aberrity Courtyard. Grab a mountain off the courtyard, so I was expecting a white source to land, so maybe it is just Jund with Courtyard as some mana fixing then? Maybe. Invasion of Gobakhan can still kick something else out of the opponent's hand. Okay. Ooh, Hideaway. Oh, buddy. Or, yeah, Fight Rigging. Yeah. Same thing, same thing. All right. Fight Rigging has to come down here, dude, right? Right? And I'll probably call green on the Anim again. Thrillseeker. Because that's just a lot of land that we don't need to see. All green. Swing for 5. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're getting that Anim through, guys. Let's do this. Green. Buff the Anim. Full swing. I don't care about that Escort. That Ollenbock Escort. They can block it if they want. We also have Light Shield Array. Block. See, this is 6 getting through there. So we could just go like this, right? And like, yeah, GG. GG opponent. Oh man, that was cool. That was good stuff. That was good, right? Ollenbock Escort. I didn't mean it, buddy. I didn't mean I don't care about you. I just meant I didn't care if you got blocked, okay? Please forgive me. But no, yeah, if they got blocked, we could obviously just sacrifice it, plug that onto the Anim anyways, and get lifelink. Or like if they were blocking one of our other wait a minute. Didn't the Toxic get through last turn too? No, because I swung at the Invasion of Gobakhan. I was going to say, when we got the Skrelv Toxic, but no, we didn't even swing at face. What was that damage there? So we had the 6 getting through, so that was bringing them down to 9. They had the block there. Then they had 7, 9. Wow, exactly lethal on this board state. That was sick, dude. Oh, man. All right, guys, let's go over the deck one more time. We had some pretty fun games there, and I still have one more video to record for the evening. I've been having a really good time with the videos this week. Really fun decks so far. Really good matches, really good showcases of the builds. The big thing we didn't get to showcase with this build today, unfortunately, was the main combo, throwing the Bunnycorn with the Thrillseeker. We had one opportunity to do so, but it wasn't ending the game, so it just like wasn't that terrific anyways. everything else just seemed to work pretty well together. There's one big thing that I would change, and that would be dropping an Ollenbock Escort and going up to Skrelv. But honestly, you could keep it exactly as it is too. Overall, the deck it has to fall under the category of jank just because it's incredibly different. It's a nice way of putting it, right? But like, you know, you guys know what I mean. I bring this up all the time in my videos. The meta is just so incredibly brutal that the second you try to step out of those bounds, there's going to be moments where Golgari just completely shreds your list apart, or Selesnya enchantments, or mono red winning before you get your 4th turn, or anything like that. You know what I mean? So you still got to consider it jank, which probably means you put it on the do not craft list too, because we got a ton of rares packed in, a ton of mythics as well. Like, you know, Skrelv is rare, Skrelv's Hive, Bunny Corn's rare, Invasion of Gobakhan's rare, Dusk Legion Duelist rare, Anim Pakal Fight Rigging, Thrillseeker, Squee. Then we got our mythics with Jetmir, and oh my goodness, this is... I wasn't expecting this when I said... when I said it was an expensive list, right? And then all the dual land too. Yeah, it's like the do not craft list of the century here. But if you got the cards, this was really fun, dude. And it actually worked out quite nicely too. Like all the extra protection and everything worked really well against the meta that we see because, you know, so much spot removal and stuff. And even then, cards like Invasion of Gobakhan just go the extra mile against taking out board wipes from the opponent's hand too. So really neat one, man. Really, really neat. Yeah, like I said, everything worked exactly as you'd expect it. The big thing too, though, that didn't work out today was the Duelist. Totally think it's still worth it. I think it just happened to be the circumstances that we were in, but we had trouble actually putting counters onto this. But we saw how many like cards in here and how much or how easy it actually is to put counters on things in general. We just weren't able to get it on the Duelist today successfully. Being our main card draw too, I wouldn't drop any of these. Like I said, I think it came down to the circumstances that we were in today. I think all 4 of these is probably still necessary, especially when we fizzle out sometimes too. The 24 lands seemed fine. I wouldn't go up any, wouldn't go down any. And the mana base seemed fine too. It actually seemed to work out nicely overall. Even in that match where we saw 3 of our Rockfall Vales, it still ended up, the mana base at least, still ended up working out quite nicely, I'd say. So cool stuff, man. Yeah. So recap. If you got the cards, yeah, go for it, man. Fun one, fun one. If you don't got the cards, it's on the do not craft list of the century, dude. That's a lot of rares. And then the final recap, of course, is I'm considering dropping an Ollenbock Escort and going up a 1 Skrelv Defector Mite, so 3 and 3. And I think that would totally work fine. But outside of that, I think you could also just keep it the same. Sovereign was pretty cool. And I bet that Ward 2, yeah, I bet that Ward 2 goes a lot further than you'd ever imagine. Even though at that point in the game, if it is like, yeah, on turn 4, if the opponent's paying 4 mana to go for the throw a Sovereign, and you have other stuff on the board too, I bet they feel pretty bad about that. But I like it as a 2 of in here. That being said, against that soldier list, just like an extra Archangel Elspeth would have been excellent too. Just like see this off the top, go that -2 and actually get around those chump blockers, because those chump blockers were pretty bad for this list. Because yeah, Bunnycorn doesn't have trample or anything fancy, so giving it some evasion. That's another thing I could see. I could see dropping a Sovereign, going up an Archangel. I feel like it would feel a little weird only having 1 Sovereign in here, though. I kind of like this split of 4 drops for some reason. Yeah. Guys, if you made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. Hey, we got that Discord link down in the description, and also we have that Patreon link in the description too, if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. Either way, yeah, I super duper appreciate you guys. Y'all are champions for real, and I will see you in the next video.